All right, so you're here because AI and education is something you want to wrap your head around. Well, good thinking. That's what we're diving into today. Our mission with this deep dive is to pull out some really key insights about AI's potential role in the future of learning, all from this document called AI and the Future of Education. So let's jump right in and unpack what this source is suggesting are the big shifts on the horizon.
Well, what really jumps out at me, at least initially, is this idea that AI in education, this isn't just about a few new gadgets in the classroom. This document is pointing towards something much more transformative. It's almost like a fundamental rethinking of how we approach education, driven by what AI can do.
Okay, I see what you're saying. And you're right. Even though this document, it doesn't get into really specific applications, you
Hmm.
can still see like the general areas where AI might fit in, right? Like just think about the possibility of actually tailoring learning to each student.
Exactly, yeah. Personalized learning, this is huge when we talk about AI in education. I mean, the text keeps it pretty broad, but it definitely suggests that AI algorithms, they could be used to analyze how well a student is understanding different concepts. And then it can actually adjust the difficulty or even the way the information is presented.
Oh, that's wild. Imagine content that adapts to your pace.
Right. It's really fascinating to consider.
And that naturally leads to some potential benefits,
Oh.
like even at a basic level, if learning becomes more personalized, more targeted, doesn't it stand to reason that students would probably be more engaged
I would think so.
and ultimately, understand things better?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And the source actually mentions this idea of increased efficiency too. And that's something I find particularly intriguing.
Oh, how so?
Well, think about it. AI could potentially take over a lot of the more routine tasks for educators, like grading, for example,
Okay.
or providing initial feedback on assignments. This would free up teachers to dedicate more of their time and energy to things like in-depth discussions or
Yeah.
or really focusing on students who are struggling.
Right. Makes sense.
But of course, this also brings up the question of, how teaching itself might need to change.
For sure. It's not just students who would be adapting to these new tools, right?
Mm-hmm.
Educators would probably see their role shifting quite a bit too. And while the source doesn't really go into detail about any downsides or potential problems, it does make you think,
Yeah.
like how do we make sure that the really important human element in education doesn't get lost, as things become more tech driven?
That's a really great point, and it actually touches on one of the biggest changes that I think we need to be aware of. Beyond just this idea of personalized learning, AI could create much more dynamic and responsive educational environments. Imagine moving away from a completely fixed curriculum,
Yeah.
to something that actually adapts to the needs of learners in real time.
That would be incredible. So to kind of pull all this together, it seems like this deep dive into AI and the future of education, it's really painting a picture of a future where AI is a huge driver of change.
I think that's a very fair assessment.
We're talking about, learning that's personalized, educators being able to focus more on direct interaction with students, and really just a very fundamental shift in how education, how the whole system operates.
And I think if we zoom out even further, it becomes clear that bringing AI into education, this isn't just like a simple technological upgrade.
Yeah, it's bigger.
It's a much broader societal shift that really has some big implications for, how we develop skills, how we gain knowledge, all of that going forward.
Absolutely. And on that note,
Yeah.
here's something to really think about, okay? What new skills do you think might become really essential for teachers and for students in a world where AI is deeply integrated into learning? It's definitely something worth pondering as we all try to navigate this evolving, landscape.
Absolutely. Lots to think about.
Definitely.